on transparency, or financial transparency if you like. It's part of the SMART campaign. It's important that you get some education when it comes to money, so you don't lose it. You need to safeguard your money. So last week we gave you episode 1 of our regular skit. Today we are getting into episode 2. And before I get into the conversation with my guest, I'll be introducing him a little later. I'd like to let you know that there will be a quiz or a contest on the round-off episode on the 2nd of July. So please, those who have been listening, prepare and get ready, because there's a quiz. So you should keep listening to stand the chance of winning a prize by texting your answers to some questions. So on the 2nd of July, there will be a quiz as we wrap up the conversation on transparency as part of the SMART campaign. So before we get into the conversation, let's enjoy our skit in terms of the second episode, or episode 2. When we come back, we'll get into the conversation. That's where all the other questions and the education will be rounded up and it will be given to you. So let's enjoy episode 2. We'll be right back.
Adre Chine and man are seen sitting in the front seat of a Benz G-Wagon chatting.
Why would I lie to you about your workers denying me a loan if I were in dire need of money after my stores burned down?
Ajua, I am sorry. I traveled out of the country.
Anyway, I've got some of the loan and I'm catching up with business bit by bit.
Ajua, what flimsy excuse did they give you for a reason?
Honestly, I believe that it's because of the way I looked when I came to the office. Plus, I didn't come in a fancy car. Also, I had a hole in my shirt and I looked scruffy. Well, I had lost a chain of stores to a fire, so what was I supposed to do? That doesn't imply that I'm not qualified for a loan. Say what I'm going to say.
This is my work, yes. This is my work. Ajua, it doesn't imply that at all. I'm sorry. And you are not the only one complaining. Please wait here. I will be right back. Please, find it somewhere to forgive me, please.
Okay, don't keep long. I have a business meeting at 12 p.m.
Oh, Ajua, come on. Your lunch is on me.
Okay.
Any place of your choice.
Don't come and bribe you.
I'm not bribing you.
The man gets off his car and enters Mahogany Savings and Loans Company. At Mahogany Savings and Loans, wearing his old but neat African print shirt, trousers and slippers, he takes a seat at the waiting area patiently. Then, Apieje, the loan officer, comes to the waiting area holding a file.
Mr. Ejenim Boateng.
Hello. Good morning.
What is good about the morning? I'm sure Mr. Ejenim sent you to pick up his loan application forms, right?
Yes, wow.
Okay. So just tell your boss to fill here, and here. Hey, where are you going? And lastly, he should fill there too.
Okay. I am Mr. Ejenim Boateng, and I'm the one going to sign. So I will scrutinize the documents and send them back to you.
I'll be with you shortly, sir.
Jay gets up. He enters another room next to the office, picks up a phone and calls his boss.
Manager, I think I've made a huge mistake.
What have you done again?
I think I've accepted an erroneous request for a loan.
Didn't you check his background
I did.
and assess if he was a potential or credible borrower? Do you mean to tell me that you did not carry out due diligence?
Sir, I did.
If you did, then how did you manage to make a mistake?
Oh,
This is
sir.
the process. See, look, I will be with you first. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I'll be
Yes,
with you
sir.
first.
PJ enters the office and puts on a fake smile.
Well, that was a long conversation.
Oh yes, my boss is always talking erroneous. He's always troubling me.
Troubling you about what?
Well, every day we meet different people, the kind of people who come for loans. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
But your background check reveals that.
What does it reveal, sir?
Oh, nothing, sir. I was just wondering. General manager, you should come and sort this out because, Charlie, this issue. If I make a mistake of giving a loan of 200,000 Ghana cedis to a man who obviously doesn't look like he can pay for it in 2 months. God, look at his shirt. Any passe.
Mr. Pia. Mr. Pia.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
May I have the application forms now, sir?
Oh, yeah, the forms. Yes. Sorry. Give
I
me.
need to sign and take the money ASAP so that I can go and
Sir, relax. Sir, relax.
Someone walks into the office and interrupts the conversation.
Thank God.
Hello, Joseph.
Good morning, sir.
Sir?
Joseph, can you give me answers as to why your loan officer here is denying me an application and why he needs you to confirm it first?
Sir, I
So they were right. They were right, eh? Hey, Apia. So you tell me why you think I'm not qualified enough to receive this loan. After having checked my credibility and background, and indeed after having realized that I'm fit, and yet you still want to deny me access to this loan?
Mr. Jenim,
What? What?
I just needed to confirm with my boss because you don't dress like a qualified businessman.
What?
Is
Is that why you called me?
Well, sir, you said that if anyone comes here dressed unprofessionally, like he's wearing the Converse he's wearing, regardless of their background check, we should deny them alone.
What?
Well, but sir, you said you
Well.
long sleeves.
Wow. Well. Some people are fired. Some people are fired. Anyway, Joseph, thanks a lot, eh? A friend's sister who wanted a loan came to me with a complaint, saying that she was denied a loan because she didn't come in a G-Wagon or a Jaguar, and that you made her sit in the reception for several hours before finally denying her the loan. Also, because she came in a shirt that had a little hole in it. Can you guess who that was?
Sir, I don't know.
Hey, let me finish. She is the head of the Traders Association at Mokola. And she owns about 10 chain stores. But after the Mokola fires, she lost 3 of the stores. And she needed a loan to rebuild what she had lost. And because of a hole in her shirt, I have lost a potential borrower who can pay basically whatever profit percentages that you throw at her. Congratulations. See me in the next 2 hours.
Sir, please,
Joseph, when you're coming, come with that brown envelope.
Jesus, I am dead. I have lost my job.
Say, what is going on? A hole in the shirt.
Who is he?
See, that is Mr. Seyram Agbetiche, CEO of the Seyram Group of Companies. Our very own boss. Yes, I'm dead.
Ow, no, sir. We are dead.
So that was the skit, episode 2. It's part of our conversation on transparency as part of the SMART campaign. So I've been joined by Kojo Bafo Igan. He's Chief Executive Officer of Vision Fund Ghana. Hello, good morning. Kojo, welcome to the City Breakfast Show.
Hi, I'm Nathan. Good morning, and good morning to our listeners.
It's nice to have you here. Very, very
Great.
Interesting skit.
Indeed.
Really interesting skit.
Indeed.
When it started, I didn't know where it would end, so I enjoyed the journey.
Yeah, indeed. It's interesting, and it's very reflective of what actually happens on the market. So I think that it's good that the SMART campaign is actually highlighting some of the challenges we have with respect to transparency and the rights of borrowers and what financial service providers should be doing on this journey we are undertaking with our clients.
I mean, in the episode, it was quite clear that the financial services provider made a huge call in terms of whether to grant or not to grant based on somebody's appearance, based on the physical appearance. What's missing and why is this unacceptable?
A loan decision cannot be based on appearance. That's a very subjective approach to making decisions on client credit requests. And for those of us who have been in the industry for a long time, you'd realize that this would be a very fatal error if you don't see clients dressed in a clean shirt or clean clothes, because the environment they work in do not sometimes permit wearing of neckties and looking very formal. But it is never reflective of their capacity and their ability to repay a loan. So, financial service providers have various approaches to credit assessment. But there are some common indicators that will run through all credit assessment. So for simplicity reasons, let me use the model of the 5 C's.
Okay.
So the first is the capacity of the client. So the capacity of the client basically speaks to how much can the person borrow, right? And has the person got their ability to repay the loan comfortably without the business being affected? So that's capacity, and that's a very objective basis to seek financial information about the business, right? And then you can look at the character of the person. Indeed, that's a bit non-financial, but it's very important. So the character will basically talk about what has been the credit history of the person. And today we have the Credit Reference Bureau that can be a guide for this purpose. In the informal setting, sometimes the information gathering process, you check whether the information the person is giving is really adding up. How are they open to you seeking references from other third parties? And to what extent they behave well in the groups that they belong to. Their attendance to group meetings, you can glean the character of the person from this. Then you look at the capital in the business. Is the capital strong enough to really carry the additional loan that the person is taking? And the issues of collateral, which is really a security discussion. In the event of default, what can you fall on to be able to redeem the loan amounts that you've given? And the general conditions around the loan. Is the person able to meet the conditions around the loan? So these are at least 5 clear guiding indicators that can inform a good credit decision. But you can see clearly that the type of clothes the client wears is not part of this consideration. And so that's
not part of the C's.
No, it's not. And it's not encouraged, at all. It doesn't form a basis for making a credit decision.
Okay, so tell me, what are the acts that can be considered as discrimination against the client? And what are the rights of the clients under the Bank of Ghana regulations if they feel discriminated against? I walk into a bank, the bank says, we won't give you a loan. Probably because they look at how I'm dressed. What, like I'm saying, what are the acts considered as discrimination? What can I do? I'm a client and I've not been giving a loan.
Good. So the central bank has the Borrowers and Lenders Act 2008, Act 773. And specifically in section 14, it is very clear that a lender shall not discriminate against a person on grounds of race, gender, ethnicity, political affiliation, or religion with respect to granting of a loan facility. So there's clear guidance in terms of the law on what you shouldn't do in terms of granting. I mean, if you practicalize it, generally we should treat our clients with respect. I always say that a relationship with a client is a journey. It's a journey to take a client from his current business status to what the client wants to do in future in terms of his capacity for the business to grow. And so financial service providers must understand that you cannot choose and pick clients on the basis of their religion. I give you an example. I work for Vision Fund, which is a Christian organization. However, we don't have any indicator that measures how many non-Christians we are serving. We are working all over Ghana, and we don't honestly care about whether we have Muslims, Buddhists, traditionally. It's completely irrelevant, and it's not even encouraged by the law. you need to just treat clients with the respect they deserve, regardless of where they belong. What is important is that they have the capacity to enter into a contract with you, and they have the capacity to take a loan and repay, or also have an account and service the account appropriately. So it doesn't come in at all, and that's completely discouraged.
Okay, that's very, very interesting there. So if that happens, what sanctions can the Bank of Ghana, or even the umbrella bodies, or that, what sanctions can they impose on their members where there's clear evidence of they are violating a client's rights?
Yeah, that's an interesting area, and I think that's an area we need to develop further. The Bank of Ghana realizes the role of associations, and in the business rules and sanctions for microfinance institutions, the central bank actually appoints associations as agents. So like you have the money lenders or the microcredit association of Ghana, the various associations we have in the industry.
To deal with the different...
To deal with various issues of screening, of application, doing spot checks, etc. So the Bank of Ghana realizes the role of the associations. And the associations also have code of conduct and code of ethics for which members who are part of the association would have to behave by. What is critical is the effectiveness of this, because the approach has been corrective, working with the institutions to correct some of these weaknesses we have with regards to serving clients. But I think that we don't have to always escalate these issues to the central bank. Of course, the central bank has the powers to apply sanctions, whether administrative sanctions or cash-based sanctions, or the central bank can even withdraw your license if you don't do the right thing. So they have the powers to sanction. However, the associations must also be emboldened, right, to move a step further from the corrective approach to also begin to sanction, all right, the members of our association who do not do things right, so that we don't have to escalate everything to the central bank. And I think one simple approach could be that in our service delivery to the client, in giving out information to the client in our banking halls, we can actually paste the numbers of these associations or directions to the offices, so that the clients can go and complain to the associations. And they must also be seen as addressing those clients' complaints to give confidence that indeed the associations can buy it.
When you mentioned the corrective measure, I was about to ask, and then you mentioned the contacts, because lots of times when clients experience these things, most often they let it go because they don't even know who to go and talk to, who to complain, and whether or not these financial institutions that maltreat them will get punished or sanctioned. So it's an important part of the conversation. But finally, as we wrap up, what will you tell clients out there? Because I'm sure some entities have lost clients because of this, and the skits. For some clients, when they hear this, they may wonder. So how will you ensure that the next client who may not dress looking prim and proper will get treated properly, like the man who's looking clean and the woman who's looking spotless?
Good, Nathan. That's the objective of this campaign, to inform our clients that they have rights, and these rights are protected by law. They have rights to engage financial service providers in credit decisions, and they are protected. So if those rights are violated, right, they can exercise their dissatisfaction by complaining to the regulator, and the regulator would sanction those financial institutions. I think for the financial institutions, given the changes that we are undergoing in the industry, I think it is most opportune for us all to be very sensitive, right, to the rights of our clients and treat clients with respect. It's part of the client protection principles. All clients should be treated with respect, regardless of what quality of clothing they wear to our banking halls or in the market. So that's the encouragement we give the financial service providers.
Thank you very much, Kojo. I've been speaking to Kojo Bafo Egan. He's CEO of Vision Fund Ghana, and we're having a conversation about treating clients well. Don't look at them based on their appearance and mistreat them. Thank you very much. This has been very, very insightful. And it's part of our smart campaign. So you've heard it. Next time you experience something like that, reach out to the regulator, make a formal complaint, and the matter will be addressed.